Hi, welcome to a new video dedicated one more time to a super compact 1S lightweight brushless FPV racer. This is the AuroraRC A100, and it got more or less the same electronic ingredient, same time of motor than the SPC Maker 95 EP I reviewed some days ago. So this one can be found in PNP without any receiver, or in BNF with three type of receiver, three type of compact 2.4 GHz micro receiver. FlySky solution in D8 mode, FlySky with the famous RFHDS2 protocol, or even more famous Spectrum DSM2 DSMX. Let's open this basic box, okay, and discover the content. Okay, here are all the elements of the box, and I already pre-installed 4 props, okay, and as well a small part of the rubber band and a rubber element, anti-sliding element. So let's continue with the other element. We have this one cellular battery. It's not LE-HV, it's a classic LiPo, 600 mAh with a discharge rate of 25C, ending with a micro rosy connector MCPX. Or if you want to know the exact dimension of it, if you need some spare, there are exactly about 50 millimeters by something a little bit more less wider in width, 26 millimeters by I would say 8. And if you need to know the weight of this battery, it's about 15.1 gram. It's more or less the same type of model that come with all the Eurachin QX model, same type of battery. What we have a bag with 4 remaining spare batteries. That's great compared to the SPC Maker coming without any spare. Here we have some 55 millimeters. They are exactly the Ladybird's model, very famous, offering very good trust for the size. Okay, and we have some remaining spare rubber band. So we have 6 in total, and also this 3M anti-slide system. I cut a part of it where I already pre-installed on the bottom side, as you can see. So adjust the lens to fit perfectly the back cover of your quadcopter. That's all. Okay, and now let's focus a little bit on the quadcopter, and let's compare, for example, with the SPC Maker model. And it's super light, okay, and we can find on top the same type of I/O camera module. It's a basic 1/4 size CMOS sensor, 25 milliwatt, 48 channel, working in a 5.8 GHz band, and 600 TVL only. So I don't expect a super great light sensitivity like the SPC Maker model. We have a linear antenna, no problem, and won't be I don't think it will be damaged during crash. On the rear side, okay, install here, you can guess the FlySky D8 receiver, where the bind button is here, okay, and you just need to install more vertically this 2.4 GHz antenna. Bad news, as for the SPC Maker, no RSSI either for the OSD or for the telemetry. Unfortunately, there is no compatible firmware with. On the rear side, we can find the mainly cable, okay, with a micro rosy connector. It sounds to be a little bit more lighter compared to the original SPC Maker. For example, let's wait with the battery. The SPC Maker, be aware, because this one comes with a 500 model, okay, and I'm not sure it's really a 500, maybe less, but whatever, the weight is about 48.7 gram. Why? With the AuroraRC Mini, okay, and if I had the total weight with the battery, we have had 0.1 gram, more or less the same weight, but this one is a more larger capacity. In fact, in practice, we have 2 gram in favor of the AuroraRC. Is not so bad. So the structure is clearly less, I would say, buzzy. Look, the top canopy. with a triangle shape instead of classic H bar. Okay, so the weight gain is probably coming with this fact. Whatever we can find here on bottom side here, okay, of the upper carbon plate are butters. That's great, directed tape. So in case you lost this machine into tall grass, no problem to find it. And well, on here we can find the main electronic board. It's an F3 board like the SPC maker with a built-in OSD chip compatible with Betaflight. That's great. On the left side we have the micro USB port, but no specific board alignment is required in the configuration. Just a small warning, with mine the micro USB port is not perfectly soldered, so I have to press it down to have the full connection. It's not super easy to for me to retrieve all the default settings and to change them. Okay, let's continue. There is no softening specifically for the flight controller, and the main question: how will be sensitive the flight controller and especially the 6-axis MPU chip to the vibration transmitted by the motor. And the motor are extremely identical to the SPC maker, some 0705 motor spinning at 15,000 kV. So I don't know if the ball bearings will be as good or as bad as the SPC maker, but I'm expecting to have a lot of vibration, and it means that during for 6-axis stabilized flight mode angle on horizon, this machine will drift very fast after just a couple of seconds, and should be, and this machine will be probably limited to be flew only in acro mode. Whatever the battery installation system is done, the securization via this rubber band attached with 2 carbon hook, and it's strongly advised to have this small 3M anti-slide and pad. It's very efficient. You can attach it very easily like this, and you have a lot of spare rubber band available in the packaging, and one is enough to secure completely the battery installation. So when you turn on the machine, you can hear that the battery is quite loud, a lot of light, and especially we have on top the screen for the receiver. This one is for the main controller, and compared to the SPC maker, I think it's more easy to get the 2 rows of lights. The blue is for the V band, and the red is for the current V frame. So the selection can be done via this unique button installed on the front on the left side of the I/O module. If you short press on it, you will cycle between the 8 frequency inside the V band, but if you long press on it, the blue light will flash. Then you will need to short press to shift from the left to the right, and as soon as you shift to the correct V-band, you will have to press one more time more than 2 seconds to validate this V-band. So the V-band selection is not so obvious in my point of view compared to some different I/O module. Whatever. In terms of structure, we have the same type of arm, carbon arm. They seems to be a little bit more wider. We have, no, it's more or less the same. Something about 1 mm 25. Okay, so in comparison, it seems to be strictly identical. So more or less flexible. But should be resistant to crash in soft surfaces, but on a very hard concrete, I don't expect miracle. With this battery, we can expect something about 4 minutes, 5 minutes, okay? And we will see if we can observe a huge voltage drop, like with the SPC maker battery, not very super efficient. The I/O module is camera is set to NTSC system, and no possibility to turn it into pale. Be aware the default Betaflight 3.2 OSD layout shows all the information, and you will not have to disable it. Okay, and in order to favorize your own OSD layout, and generally I put on the 4 corners some important information. So we don't have the RSSI feedback, unfortunately, due to this firmware installed on the FearSky D8. I don't know if this one can be compatible with an official FearSky or some open source based one. So it's time to show you how to bind it. It's super easy. In general, you can use the power bank trick. Okay, it's a little bit more easy with a micro USB, and you just need to keep it press this bind button here while powering and run the binding procedure. Let's do it. Okay, so I prepare a model file with a FearSky selected associated synonym of D8 mode. Then I pre-insert the micro USB on the AuroraRC A100, and now I will be able to keep it press the bind button. Can be done probably with the finger, with the thumb. Yes, it's probably with the, and then insert gently the USB into the power bank. Okay, then the red light here is solid. Then I will run the binding, press enter, and then after a couple of seconds this green light will disappear. I can release everything. Okay, turn off everything. Okay, and then if it's working fine, when I will power everything, you will be able to see that the green light here keeps solid. So I already pre-configure all the Betaflight settings. As I said previously, mine came with more or less damaged USB. I can power the machine, but the signal is not very working. I have to press it to enter correctly into the to see appearing on the COM port in Betaflight. So it's not super obvious to present all the default Betaflight configuration. Whatever I already configure everything. For example, this switch in the middle is to run the buzzer, is quite loud, and here to harm the machine, and here I've got the flight mode, angle, horizon, and acro. I can show you whatever the OSD information display after the configuration. Okay, and you can see that. Okay, to turn on the FPV monitor. Okay, and we have all the information after the arming. Okay, you can see the flight time, the battery voltage, the current throttle, and the current flight mode, where you can see horizon and air mode associated with the acro. So the light sensitivity of the FPV module is not super impressive like the SPC maker, and the latency is about 40-50 milliseconds. So now it's time to check the machine in the field, okay, and to see if the drift effect in six-axis stabilized flight mode is a little bit less important. Also configure the machine to run at 2 kHz for both the gyros and the main PIDs. The lower is it, the less drift effect will be felt onto the machine, but on the other hand the reaction will be slower. So no free lunch. Let's go in the field right now. Welcome to this small demo flight of the AuroraRC A100. Now we fly it in lost condition to observe immediately if the drift effects are here or not. I fear it will be, okay, after a couple of seconds, due to these extreme vibration transmitted with such kind of 0705 motors, known to have other bad bearings by bushing in general. So versus time, after a couple of seconds the drift will be here. So let's power the machine, okay, and turn on the transmitter. That's fine, and I will fly in angle mode on the machine. Okay, let's go. The motors are noisy. Okay, don't touch the throttle. Let's see a punch out. Okay, not so bad. And okay, I start to drift. You can see I'm moving automatically front. Okay, oh, let's see, I can look, moving fast forward automatically. Look at that. So the drift is huge. I cannot even return here to the takeoff location. So it's very, very bad. So this machine cannot really fly in angle or six-axis stabilization mode. That's really a nightmare.
whatever you try to soft mount the flight controller. I think nothing will fix this huge amount of problem. Maybe little soft mounting on motor, but I don't think so. So this is definitively a pure acro flyer, whatever. So not adapted to beginners. Okay, if you are beginners, avoid this machine and go maybe more to the QX90C Pro, brushed but not so less powerful, and works much better at least in forces assist stabilized mode. Let's engage more FPV flight right now.